Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the third episode of the Nerd Buffet podcast. My name is Jake Bates.
And I'm Tommy, so grab a plate and let's get started.
All right. So first off, usually the last two episodes we started talking about games. Let's mix it up a little bit. I really want to talk about the Final Deletion wrestling.
Yes, Final Deletion was awesome.
I don't know if there's really many words to put besides awesome. It's really hard to explain, especially to people that don't like wrestling.
Right.
If you're like, here, watch this first.
You may turn them off of wrestling, actually, if you haven't watched that first.
The typical person, would you turn them on to wrestling or off from that, you think?
I think off. I don't think if you show that to someone who doesn't watch wrestling or know anything about wrestling, like, what in the world are you showing me? Like,
yeah.
You almost have You almost have to know Matt and Jeff Hardy to get enjoyment out of it, I think.
Okay. Yeah, there are some things about it. I can say, bringing this up and talking about this first and foremost, man, I have not cared at all about TNA for a long time.
Right, I don't think I've ever cared about TNA, so...
Have you ever watched a full episode of TNA?
Yes, unfortunately, yeah. I have. I've never caught it when it was good. People say it was good, and last I saw it, there was like a gray-haired MVP was the champion on it, and I was like, I'm not interested. Every time I try to watch it, I'm like, this isn't great.
I didn't start tuning in until after the quote-unquote great era of TNA. So I don't know. I know it does exist. I've had enough people tell me that it did exist and it was good.
I've heard that too, that it was good at one point in time.
But when I watched it, I want to say it was right after Hogan started there,
Yeah.
and they had all of the WCW guys go there.
It seemed like it was just like WCW was.
Too much like WCW.
Yeah, it got all of the guys that were too old for WWE went there to wrestle.
But they'd already done that once.
Yeah.
They were too old for WWE, so they're like, well, we'll go to WCW.
And then they came back to
20
WWE.
years later, they're like, we're too old to WWE again, so let's go to this company.
Yeah, and that was all the NWO guys went over. Hulk Hogan, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, right?
Yep. Sting, did you say Sting?
Sting was there forever. I mean, he didn't go to WWE then there. He went from WCW to there.
Yep.
And
Ric Flair. You say Ric Flair?
Flair. Mick Foley, too.
Oh, yeah, Foley was like a big part of that.
Yeah.
I forgot.
So, I mean, all these old guys that couldn't wrestle or do anything for WWE went over there.
Christian was when it was quote-unquote good. Because I'm going to keep saying that because I've never seen it,
so we can't judge, yeah.
So I think is that when people say that it was the best, is when Christian was the...
Christian, Mr. Anderson, maybe?
Yeah. One thing that I did see, that probably the best thing I've seen out of TNA, of like me flipping it there and being like, I don't really want to watch this. Mr. Anderson, which I can't stand not calling him Kennedy because that's what I know him as.
Yeah.
He does the same entrance. I don't know if you knew that. He does, but Anderson.
Yeah.
So he comes in, he's like, Mister! And then somebody in the audience says, Kennedy! And he says, nope. And then somebody says, Anderson! Yep. It was awesome. Anywho, the Final Deletion. Let's kind of talk a little bit more about that instead of TNA and
yeah.
Is it over? Is this the end of this, or is it like
I believe Jeff Hardy has been deleted.
He wasn't resuscitated in the video
as per Matt Hardy's line.
Official. There are like 3 or 4 things in that I will carry with me forever and talk about it. But one of them is the way that he addresses the ref as an official every time.
Yeah.
Official, come here. Come here, oh my God, it's so good.
R.I.P. Senior Benjamin.
What?
Senior Benjamin.
Oh, Senor Benjamin. Yeah, I forgot about Senor Benjamin. Oh my God, yeah, that was funny. What I was going to say is... I think because you never really see clips like this on YouTube. That's where I've seen it. I don't know if it's anywhere else. But this Final Deletion clip, director's cut's like 17 minutes long.
Yeah.
And there's no strike or anything because I think it's them allowing it. Yeah, that's smart.
Yeah, TNA could bring it down, take it down. But whoever put it together even said, hey, I put this together for my enjoyment. I'm not getting paid for it.
Right.
If you want me to take it down, I will.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah, it's still up though. So.
But kind of what I was thinking, and I did not know that this is really good. I thought I was coming to this conclusion myself, so now I feel kind of foolish. But the fact that they're like putting this up is getting me interested in wanting to watch TNA, which I don't have the channel to watch it.
Yeah, I don't think anyone does.
Which is why no one watches TNA, right?
I don't think that's the problem. It's Pop TV, I believe, is the channel.
Oh.
So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know anyone that has Pop TV. I didn't even hear of the station until I looked it up to figure out what station TNA was on.
If you let us know in the comments if you're listening and you know where Pop TV is or a way of watching TNA or any suggestions on TNA, I am completely down to watch this now, so please let me know. I have Mediacom, so again, I don't think that I have Pop TV. Let's talk about Monday Night Raw. Not much happened because it was the 4th of July. Right?
The 4th of July happened, and so we had to celebrate in turn with the Monday Night Raw.
Right. There's always some sort of, when it falls on holidays, there's always some sort of shenanigans that go down, which is kind of the way it opened up with the big food fight.
Yeah.
That was predictable, but yeah.
But even without the 4th of July, it's been my belief that we've been kind of coasting storyline-wise.
Waiting for the draft. Yeah, you're absolutely right about that.
We don't want to have anything big in motion until the draft happens. The big storyline now is the triple threat match, which Seth Rollins is trying to get Roman Reigns expunged from.
Right, and the crazy thing is, again, we've talked about this 2 weeks in a row, the crowd, when he was standing up on that table and he said, Roman Reigns shouldn't be here, the crowd was like the loudest pop of the entire night when he said that. Dean Ambrose got over on him on the with the dirty deeds on top of the table, and so it kind of turned it around from last week, which I would stick with your argument that is coasting. You're just showing the same thing but the other way around. The only other exciting thing that's happening is Enzo and Cass have just jumped completely, because there's tiers for your entire locker room. You know, you've got your lower card, your mid, and your upper.
Yeah.
They just jumped the mid. I mean, I would say they're upper mid, lower upper. Does that make sense?
I'd say they were probably upper mid before.
But the fact that they're not even messing with the tag team titles or any of that story.
Yeah.
They're with Cena now. They're these guys. They're the other two guys, you know. They're in this huge storyline. That was awesome. I mean, because I think Enzo and Cass are a couple guys that are going to be more than just a couple tag team guys. I think they're going to be.
I hope important.
So. The way that they've been making Cass just a monster and cleaning house against people is really kind of telling of that. Anyways.
They booked him really well during Ezio's injury. During Ezio's injury, they booked him really well. They didn't just keep him off TV and wait for Ezio to come back.
Ezio Auditorium. Enzo, yes. They did book him very well, and they did a very good job of making sure Enzo wasn't forgotten, too. It was pretty cool. There's really not a lot to talk about with Raw. That's all that. Oh, the Wyatts. That's actually kind of at least somewhat interesting. With the New Day kind of.
There are rumors that Xavier Woods is going to turn on New Day.
Really?
That he may be the new, not a new Wyatt, but be kind of corrupted by the Wyatts, and I don't know.
See,
that's the rumor.
I think with as many WWE things that I've seen in my life, and as long as I've been watching it, they always do this sort of thing, and then someone else turns.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's I don't want to compare it too much to the Shield, but Roman and Dean were fighting each other when the Shield was still together.
Yeah.
And Seth kept saying, "No, guys, stop. You guys got to stop." And he, walked out on him, and he's like, "You guys going to knock this stuff off." And they beat Blutista, what are they called? Evolution.
Yeah.
They beat Evolution twice, I want to say. And then all of a sudden there was the Plan B thing, or whatever. I always have a Plan B. Boom, the turn. And this is not the only time that we've ever seen something like that happen. So I'm of the belief that this is my argument coming together, that I don't think that Xavier Woods would be the one to turn on him if somebody does turn on him. I almost would say, what if Xavier Woods gotcha, just kidding, New Day rocks, you know what I mean? The whole time they've just been messing around. That's not completely crazy to think. So, I mean, what else happened on Raw? There was the America versus the non-America battle.
Yeah, and the Teddy Long Invitational 4th of July match.
Teddy Long's at home, like you said the other day.
Teddy Long would have just loved that match.
Yeah.
God rest his soul.
God rest his soul.
But yeah, that was a decent match. I mean, for a 16-man tag match? There was 8 people on each team.
I'm glad that it wasn't, because one thing Teddy never did was elimination things. It was always like a 16-man tag, and then everyone would get their finishers off, which I hate. I could talk about that all day. When you see those matches, you see a finisher, why not just lead out in every other match with that if your finisher's that powerful to knock the other guy out? So it doesn't make much sense story-wise, but whatever.
But thank God for Zack Ryder for America.
Oh, my God. I heard he's getting a, what do they call it?
Repackage?
Repackage, yeah. What in the heck do you think? He's going to be the American guy now?
I'd be okay with him being the America guy now.
You think? Could you see that?
Maybe. I mean, I don't know.
What else would he... I don't know what else you'd do with him. Oh.
I really like him as a competitor. But he just kind of gets lost in everyone else.
Yeah, he'll thrive when the brand's split.
I hope so. I hope he thrives or doesn't get lost.
Yeah.
He might get lost in the shuffle.
Hey, something else happened this weekend. Speaking of wrestling, Lesnar was your winner.
Yeah, he triumphant over Mark Hunt in the UFC 200.
I saw clips, but of course I couldn't see the whole thing because I didn't buy it. UFC is pretty good about deleting their stuff from YouTube when people try to upload. Unanimous decision. From what I heard, he controlled, because he didn't want to just get into a fist fight with Mark Hunt, because Mark Hunt's a fist fighter.
Yeah.
And Brock Lesnar is not just a WWE wrestler, but as we know, he's a wrestler.
Yeah. Wrestling wrestler.
Right. But supposedly he went ahead and had a fist fight anyways and won.
I saw pictures of Brock Lesnar after the fight, and he looks like he'd been in a fight.
Yeah. He took a few.
His eyes were swollen up.
Best thing about it, what I did see was afterwards, when he said, "Brock, what do you want to say about it?" And he said, "Hey, I love give some love to the boys in blue, give the people that protect us. We got to unite as Americans." I thought that was awesome. A lot of times Brock Lesnar can kind of be a douche, but that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool of him to use the platform that he has available to him to say something like that.
Yes. Oh, and he's advertised for Raw.
He's going to be on Raw Monday, supposedly.
Awesome.
Card may change.